Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Hey Motorheads, welcome to another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, you know, if you're painting an automobile, you're painting anything for that matter, you're going to want to prep the surface and do it properly. The best place for a good finish is starting with Bulldog, and that centers around the adhesion promoter that you have here, Josh. First of all, why do I need an adhesion promoter? How does it work?
Sure. So adhesion promoter is your insurance policy for coating any of the plastics. So you have to have it when you're coating plastics. And really, it gives you that same insurance policy when you're coating any surface. So what makes Bulldog a little bit unique is it works on all those automotive plastics. It works on the difficult plastics, ABS, PVC, vinyl, the things that are really hard to coat. You can also use it on glass, chrome, painted surfaces. A couple other attributes: you can use it as a wet bed, as a blend agent. You can tint it, you can mix it into your base coat and your clear coat as a flex additive as well. So Bulldog's really unique as an adhesion promoter. It's a very robust package. And when you pair it with this little bad boy, this abrasive prep and clean, we stand behind this system with a lifetime warranty. So we know that if you do the right prep and the right adhesion promoter, you're gonna get adhesion and it's gonna work all day long.
Bulldog, of course, is the industry standard, but now you've even upped the game. There's a new member of the family.
Yeah, our new member of the family is single shot. It's a single use or a one and done product. This little patent pending bottle allows you to do something with existing cup systems that are on the market. The nice thing is, for under 20 bucks, you've got exactly what you need. So this 5.5 ounces is enough to do a full-size SUV bumper, or you can do several parts and pieces or smaller bumpers. You're buying enough for your job. The nice thing in a shop environment is they can job cost this, so they can easily put this on the RO and recoup their investment. And if you're a DIYer, you don't have to buy a gallon or a quart and have a bunch of products sitting on the shelf for a long time that you don't know when the next time you're going to use it is. This is the patent pending package, and when you take it out of the box, you want to give it a little courtesy shake and then tilt it to make sure that the vent tube doesn't have any liquid in it. So it's as simple as that. I'm gonna take an empty bottle just to keep everything neat and clean, but give it a courtesy shake, get the vent tube out. When you open it up, you're gonna peel the foil, heat seal. If I wanted to tint, this is the point where I'd mix in a little bit of solvent-based toner, and I'd tint it if I wanted a base color. And this is the coupler that comes in the bottle. This coupler, when you add it to this bottle, now I'm basically ready to attach it to one of those two existing spray gun adapters. So the one step that I want to do before that is to just bust that off. That's going to allow positive airflow, just like a traditional cup system. And then I'm going to pick up the spray gun that I'm going to use, version 2 adapter or a version 1 adapter on those existing cup systems. And this is a friction fit fitting. So I'm going to press it down, support it a little bit as I turn it over, and now I'm ready to spray. The vent tube is up in the front, so it's going to give positive airflow. And now I'm going into the booth and I'm coating that plastic or whatever the surface is that I'm spraying.
Just a friction fit?
Just a friction fit. So it's a small package. It's not a full-size cup, and there's about 5.5 ounces in there. Again, that's enough to do any size job that you're going to run into with adhesion promoter. And there's not enough weight up there to create a concern. So whether I'm using it on the new version or the old version, this fits both of them. I can swing this around, I can play with this, I can paint the way I would normally paint. So yeah, I'm not worried about this at all.
What kind of feedback are you getting from folks who've used this already?
So the feedback is really good for a couple of the reasons that we just talked about. You know, it's the right amount. It reduces my out-of-pocket expense. It gives me the ability to job cost this on an RO, on a repair. And the convenience play is huge. So the feedback has been really, really good. This makes it really easy for everybody to use this product, especially if they're using it out of a spray gun.
These are the most popular gun designs out there, but there are others. What if I don't have one of these two?
Absolutely. So if you don't have one of these two cup systems, you're not restricted or limited in any way. You can take this existing package and you still get all the benefits. You can pour it into a different cup system, or you can pour it into a traditional aluminum cup that, you know, a lot of guys still use on their spray guns. So you can still take advantage of the product, the packaging, the cost, and use it in your existing system or your existing setup.
The system's so easy to use, but are there some red flags, things they need to watch out for?
So really the only things that I would tell guys to watch out for, and I'll put this back together real quick, is don't do things you wouldn't do with a normal paint gun and paint system. So like I said, you can get this on the gun, you can get this horizontal, but no sword fighting, don't run it into walls, don't bounce it off the vehicle, because like you said, it's friction fence, so if I hit it hard enough, I can knock it off. But if you treat it like a normal paint system, you're fine.
You are going to love the finish you get with Bulldog's system, and the Bulldog single shot is going to make it even easier for you. Find us at Klean-Strip Auto.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dragonfire Tools.com, so don't go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage presented by Dragonfire Tools.com is brought to you by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need. And by AP Laser, leading the way.
Thanks for coming along for the ride here on Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, if you've seen our show before, there's a good chance you might have seen Clamptite here before, and you might have seen this handsome face here, Kevin. Folks ask me about the Clamptite tool all the time, and they say, well, I don't really need one because I'm not a mechanic, or I don't work on my car that much. But there's so many other uses for the Clamptite tool. What kind of things can we use it for around the house?
Absolutely. So like just your garden hoses, it actually makes a true 360 seal all the way around. You can actually apply your sprayers and nozzles on without cutting your hands all up. These that come with the repair kit, I mean, they're terrible. They don't get real tight. You have that flat spot there, so you're always leaking. And try to put a sprayer or nozzle on that, you're going to cut your hand all up. So.
And I have never used a regular hose clamp without cutting myself.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
100%. Plumbing applications, if you're a little more handy.
Your RVs and things like that, you got that soft rubber. These clamps are notorious for cutting into those. It's not pressure-wise, but nobody wants that leak in their RV. It's just terrible. So it's a nice, clean 360 seal again, so you're not going to have that problem.
Other application out here on the farm, maybe you've got a fence post or something to repair.
You don't have to take the whole post out. You can just fix it. It's cracked right here. You just put our clamp around it. You're good to go. Put your fence back up.
You do a lot of shows. You go to aviation shows, you go to automotive shows. What are some of the questions you get from the folks visiting your booth?
So hose clamps are still hose clamps. Those worm-fed clamps, they have the flat spots. The material they're made with are cheaper and cheaper. They got more tin in them, but they're also costing more money. They're more expensive, but they're not holding better. So a lot of times you'll have to use 2 clamps just to get one to work. Ours gives you that true 360 seal. So things like air hoses, to try to crimp that, that's, again, it's the same problem as you have in your air hose. You're trying to run your hand over top of that. That's terrible. You're going to cut your hand all up. So just a much better fix. Boosts and turbos is the most that we hear all the time, blowing off air intakes, and this is your solution for that.
Why is the Clamptite tool so much stronger than a traditional hose clamp?
It's all about getting that true 360 seal all the way around. When you have your air intake, that air gets underneath your clamp, pops it up. That's why you're losing boost. This, you can't have that. So it's just a better, much better seal, and it's all, we're using all stainless steel wire, so there's no weak spot there. So that's why it's a better clamp.
Well, we know what the Clamptite tool could do. Let's see how it actually works. Back here on the Motorhead Garage Jeep. Now, Nikki, this had a traditional hose clamp on it when it came in, and getting it off demonstrated why traditional hose clamps are a pain.
They're a pain in the butt. They're going to strip out if you try to get this thing off. It's going to end up eventually blowing off anyway because it's not a stainless steel clamp.
With the Clamptite clamp, you can actually put that back over if you want that original look.
It totally, if you did. Now, this is a traditional worm gear. I'd just kind of get rid of that completely. But if you want the original look, you know, the old tower clamps and things like that, you can totally just pull that right over top of our clamp and finish off the look if that's what you wanted to do.
Still look like the original at a car show or something like that.
Exactly. But you know it's being held properly underneath because you're getting a true 360-degree seal with no flat spots like you would get with a traditional clamp. So.
And let's talk about getting that Clamptite wire on there.
Yeah, so basically what you're going to do is you measure around your project 4 times and add 12 inches. So that gives you enough wire to actually do a double wrap clamp. And anything you're running any type of pressure under, you kind of want to go around 2 times. So that's what we did. We just bent the wire in half, fed it through. You want to make sure you're not cross or twisted. You know, what's nice about this is the little bit of lubrication actually helps on those gummier hoses as well, so it just kind of makes it easier to move. So, and then you just attach the tool, wrap it around the pins, then we just tighten it down with that loop and the notch. Once it's tight too, and if it feels like you're not sure, you know, power everything up, turn it on, pressurize it, see if you have a leak. If you do, you're going to hear it, so you just tighten it down till the leak stops. Now you're ready to finish this clamp and finish it off. So what we're gonna do, since we actually have the overhead, I'm gonna flip this 180 degrees. If you were in a tighter space, you could just go past 90, but since I've got the room, you're gonna loosen that, pop that tool away, and then just get in here with your cutters. You wanna go in about 1/4 of an inch or so, and you can always trim that up later. Now, of course, those are sticking up, so they're a little sharp, but you're gonna push these down. Now, when I do that, what I'm doing is I'm work hardening that wire. I'm stretching that wire into a permanent clamp. That's not gonna shake loose, vibrate off. That's gonna stay right there. Hose will probably wear out before the clamp does.
Well, for a custom clamp like that fits every application, you can find them at clamptitetools.com. You got to get one of these. These are great. We will return with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dragonfiretools.com. Stay tuned.
Motorhead Garage, brought to you by Dragonfire Tools. Quality tool storage for your shop or garage.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by Dragonfiretools.com. If you ride a motorcycle, you know leathers are so important, first and foremost for safety, and of course you want them to be comfortable, and you want them to look good too because you're riding a motorcycle, and it's really cool, Melinda, to ride a motorcycle. And the best place to go for leathers is Fox Creek Leather. I'm telling you, I've never seen or felt anything like this. What sets Fox Creek Leather apart from the other stuff that's out there on the market?
40 years ago, Paul Trashy started the business, and people had taught him you want to go for the stuff with the best materials.
And that's what he's still doing.
And made in America.
That's important too, and I know it's important to a lot of folks riding motorcycles especially.
And still today, we're able to do that.
This is one of your best-selling jackets here. What are some of the features of it that make it stand out from the competition?
Okay, well, I'll tell you, this is the classic one. It's the traditional bike jacket that most people think of. You've got vents under the sleeves. You've got gussets at the shoulders, so when you reach out towards your handlebars, it moves with you. You've got a liner that zips in or out. You've got pockets for the inside, anything you want to put. You've got a large pocket for concealed carry if you need it, but it's just good for anything.
Getting a ton of protection from this leather because it's thick, and then you can feel that, and the venting of course will make you comfortable, and you have it right there on the arms. You've got there behind the sleeves here, and this is great. You want to reach for the handlebars, you're going to need the flexibility. There's a lot of less expensive leather, let's say, out there that's not as good, and you're not getting any flex at all. So this is all about comfort and all about safety as well.
Full grain leather. This can't be beat.
And something else here that's fantastic, these are the overpants that you have. A lot of folks like chaps, but folks are leaning toward the overpants now. Why is that?
Everything's covered.
That's right. All the important stuff is covered here.
Chaps are comfortable, but they're not covered in the front, and they're not covered in the seat. Here you've got it all, and they're easy to put on and off. They zip all the way to the top, to the bottom, and there you have snaps to snap them around your boots so they won't be flying all over the place.
And the second you're done riding, off they come, and you're comfortable.
Take them off, and you've got your jeans and stayed clean and dry. You're ready to go.
Fantastic. Now, the place where you can see the quality of materials here, it really stands out when talking about your gloves. And gloves are a safety thing as well, but you want to be comfortable when you're riding. What are your gloves made of that make them so soft and so supple?
Most of these are deer, but we do have elk. It's a really superb material to make gloves out of. It's just sometimes it's a little harder to get. The deer is hard to beat because it's really abrasive resistant, and yet it still feels thin and supple in your hand.
And that'll make you comfortable on a long, long ride especially.
Oh yes, yes.
And the leathers that you have here at Fox Creek are amazing, and you might as well augment it with some cool accessories here. And this tool bag is one example of that. You guys have a ton of accessories made of beautiful leather. Tell me about that tool bag.
This tool bag is one of our better selling pieces because it fits most any bike. It can be on the forks. It comes in 3 sizes. There's a small and a larger one. It's made out of really good high quality leather, the same as saddlebags. It holds its shape. It's got quick release buckles. You don't have to fool with the buckle, which is hard, when you have your gloves on especially, and it comes with leather straps and good buckles to attach it to the bike.
You can look great, you can be comfortable, and above all, you can be safe with leathers from Fox Creek Leather. You can find it at foxcreekleather.com and enter this discount code for 15% off. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com in just a moment.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics, and by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping.
Thanks for sticking with us here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. You know how it is. You get in a fender bender or something like that, you end up with a smashed body panel, and, well, traditionally you would take it to the dealership or to a shop near you. What are the drawbacks to that, Sean?
Yeah, so when it comes to body shops, obviously cost, it can be really expensive to get that piece fixed. Biggest thing though is usually time. Obviously you're without your car, body shop can be scheduled out month and a half, easy, and that's kind of where we come in. We try to get you a quality part in a quick time frame.
And by we, you mean Painted OEM Parts, and your name kind of says it all. So when I order from Painted OEM Parts, what am I getting?
Yes, you're going to be getting a high quality paint and match piece for your specific vehicle. So no pre-painted parts, everything's done, for your specific vehicle. So whether it's a small part, big part, we got you covered.
How do I know it's going to fit?
A lot of the parts we work with are genuine OEM parts. So again, with that VIN number, we verify correct part, get it from the dealer, and then we do everything paint-wise in-house.
Let's talk about some of the parts you brought here. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this guy right here is going to be a Durango hitch cover. Obviously, hitch cover is pretty easy to lose. Take them off, set them somewhere, lose it. Other thing, sometimes you just do an upgrade. You add a hitch cover, or a hitch, I should say, so you need a cover to compensate for that.
Makes a lot of sense. And the little parts here, you see a lot of vehicles without the tow hook covers.
Yeah, so European, Japanese cars, even though they might be a small part, the hole in the bumper can look out of place, whatever the case may be. So huge product for us. A lot of people kind of completing that bumper, so to speak.
I see it in parking lots all the time. Those are missing, so it's a great solution to them.
Yep.
Your parts here, you guys paint them there in-house in Colorado.
Yes, sir.
What kind of warranty do you have?
So every part we paint, we have a lifetime warranty. So any kind of peeling, fading, crack, whatever it is, we can cover that for you.
And it's not just replacement parts. A lot of folks maybe want to turn to you guys for upgrades to the vehicles they have, and here's a great example.
Yep.
Right here.
The latest generation Tacoma, some people have those chrome end caps or whatnot, and really it's the only chrome piece on the car, honestly. And so a lot of people do an upgrade where they paint to match the vehicle and gives it just a nicer, sharper look.
And speaking of upgrades here, great looking front end here from a Subaru here, Diamond. What folks are buying this? This is an upgrade to the older model here?
Yes, so this is an 18 to 21, that's a 15 to 17. It's an upgrade, it's a direct fit. And people really love that because it's easy. You don't have to any new parts, nothing special to do it. Just looks good on the car.
What are some of the differences between the older one and the newer version here that people like?
People really like the raw front texture. It matches the rear bumper, so you get a really full feel from front to back of the car.
What are some of the upgrades that aren't necessarily a repair part?
The latest generation and the generation before Tundra, the chrome again, the chrome conversions is a big thing for people. They don't want that chrome, they want the painted look. It looks sharper, it looks better, it looks newer. We do that in Dodges as well and in the Chevy trucks.
There are other companies doing what you do, but what makes Painted OEM Parts stand out from those companies?
So starting with the genuine part is really important. It's gonna fit well, it's gonna match, it's gonna look good, and then from there you're gonna have the factory finish. So using high quality paint, and it's gonna meet or exceed your factory finish.
The highest quality parts that are going to last, they're gonna fit your vehicle. You just put them right on there. PaintedOEMParts.com is the place to go.
Two-stroke engines need lubrication, just like your four-strokes do, but we do it a bit different. We actually mix the gasoline and the oil together. Welcome to this Amsoil Tech Tip, two-stroke cycle. How does it work, you ask? Great question. Take a look at this right here. You can actually see it in action. What's going on here is you have two strokes. The piston's either going up or down. I'm going to make it simple. When the piston's going up, opposite of compression is vacuum. So on this side, we're actually pulling the fuel in. Now what's going on? Fuel and oil, because there's no oil down here in the sump. So that's massively critical, and the oil is massively critical to lubricate the parts. Now the next stroke, it's obviously on its way up. When it's on its way up, we cover up the intake port and we're pushing everything out, using a transfer or bypass tube to get it up there and get it out. So both of these, they have to be lubricated, and they have to be lubricated all the time. Len, all two-stroke oils are not created equal, are they?
That's correct. Especially at Amsoil, we formulate the two-stroke oils for the needs of that equipment. So if we're talking about a string trimmer or handheld commercial lawn and landscape type of equipment, Sabre is formulated specifically for those. It has a very high dose of anti-wear. It's going to be able to provide top-notch protection from a lubrication standpoint. Deposit control is critical because these machines run extremely, extremely hot.
And also, you know, you think about two-strokes, weed eaters, dirt bikes, even outboards are still two-strokes. A lot of that gets stored, and that's a big problem too, with storing them for a while and break down and just the fuel and issues, and it's just hard to start.
Right, one of the biggest complaints we get, or maybe you even know this, is that the weed eaters don't start. So what we've done is we've built a stabilizer into the Sabre Professional product to take care of that. So as long as you're mixing the Sabre in your gasoline, you're stabilized and protected.
Well, no doubt. I'm going to get the Sabre, and you can too. You can buy it directly off their website at amsoil.com.
We cannot do this show without you, the viewer, so thank you so much for tuning in. And we can't do this show without great products coming through the studio here. So if you have one you want to see featured on Motorhead Garage, email me. Send a note to dave@motorheadgarage.tv. We'll get you here in our studio to show it off to the world. Until next week, from the greatest crew in television, we will see you here for another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com.